As a black veteran, I realized I served a country that hated me. I'm a highly decorated veteran. I am at 100% VA compensation. So the VA compensates you based on your injuries or whatever is wrong with you, and it goes in a payment scale from 0 to 100. I'm at 100%, permanent and total. And I realize my country hates me because I realize my service never actually mattered. This is why it's another reason why I don't like it when black people say, oh, I'm black and LGBT, I'm black and a woman, I'm black and this and black. All of them extra identifiers don't fucking matter. Take it for someone who worked for the government. It don't matter, bro. You want to be special because you're running away from your blackness. It don't matter, bro. You know how many medals I got? How decorated I am, and it don't matter? Let me give you a prime example of it. It don't matter. I was seeking therapy at the American Lake VA in Tacoma, Washington. I was begging for therapy because I needed it. My wife suggested that I ask for a black therapist, so I did. A VA patient advocate named Paul Vinkus, who got fired, by the way, he told me on the phone that I'm a racist just for asking for a black therapist. You got a veteran reaching out to you for PTSD therapy and treatment, and you tell them he's a racist just because he wants a therapist of his choice, and it wasn't even my decision. It was my wife. I was trying to be a good husband by listening to my wife. I recorded that phone call. I put it on TikTok. It went viral. You guys helped me get that guy fired. So you know it's true. I had a VA psychologist in South Carolina sexually harass me and say a bunch of racist shit. And they wouldn't fire this man until they caught him sleeping with a freaking white woman. That's the care that I receive as a veteran. And when I watch my battle buddies being shot down by cops, when I realize that as a veteran, I have more PTSD probably from dealing with American police and the pedophiles in this country than I did in Afghanistan, my service never mattered. And this is why no recruiter is ever going to be able to approach my son. You come to my property, you say, oh, it's illegal to stop me. That's cute. That law is only a piece of paper, but that pew-pew is immediate. I can reach for it immediately. I am the last person in my line that will serve in the military. You can bet it. Book it. Because I will never let another person in my family serve this country to be treated like a second-class citizen. That's why I don't do any labels outside of black.
Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakadash. God bless the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone. Salute to Akim, pushing us with sincerity and in truth, you know. Hey, I sat here firing up, you know, another one to the spirit, you know, and as you see, the video being played just now, as you understand how, you know, Jake basically speaking on how we're being treated after you serve for the enemy, after you serve for, you know, Babylon the Great, as a so-called Negro, Latino, Hispanic, you know, how you are to be treated, you know, because hey, at the end of the day, they see Jake as just pawns, as nobodies, you know. He been through it, so he could tell her that he and she gonna ensure that none of his family member, you know, join the fight and serve for America anymore, you know. Yeah, because he faced the reality of what they are about and whatnot, you know. It's just you serving as a dog, and when you already accomplish your duties, you know, and hey, we know highly PTSD and all sorts of mental issues happen to a lot of veterans, a lot of, they that go out and war, go out at war, right? But hey, the scripture say, this is not our rest. We ain't come here to be, you know, comfortable here, right? We ain't come here to be comfortable here. So no matter what, the scripture say, never trust your enemy just as iron rusted to wickedness. Because they don't really want to have anything put in place for you jakes, after they done use you jakes, to push their agenda, to push their motives. The Deuteronomy tells us of that, right? Deuteronomy 28 and verses. Right. Verse 28, though the Lord shall smite thee with madness and blindness and astonishment of heart, and thou shalt grope at noonday as a blind gropeth in darkness, and thou shalt not prosper in thy ways, and thou shalt be only oppressed and spoiled. And that is it. After you sent out your best service, your best honor, being highly decorated, and just to jot down to be treated as a nobody at the end of the day. And no man shall save thee, because this is a part of the curses, yeah. Verse 33, it said, the fruit of thy land and of all thy labors. So all that service being done shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up. You serve well. You did a lot for them and all. And thou shalt be only what? Oppressed. Because in the end, that is how you feel. You didn't feel nowhere. You was satisfied of your accomplishments. He said that counted as nothing, basically, He felt that being highly decorated and all these things, it was not. Especially the way he was treated. And thou shalt be oppressed and crushed always. And yeah. So in any position, in any way, that is how Jake ends up. Especially being our enemies in Babylon. Right? Because again, the scriptures say, we're not going to get no rest from the sole of our foot. Right? Yeah, that's let me see here. Deuteronomy 28 and verses. Right. 65. And among these nations shalt thou find no ease, neither shall the sole of thy foot have rest, but the Lord shall give thee there a trembling heart, a filling of eyes, and sorrow of mind. Yeah. And that is all, Jacob have been seeing for the past 10 years. Especially under the ruler Esau Edom. Right? All your services, all these things is about to be seen coming to naught. scriptures talking about a few things displease. Let's see. Sirach 26 and 28. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third make me angry. The man of war that suffered poverty. You know, I mean, hey, this mightn't be his case, but hey, a lot of them who fought wars and end up in a mental asylum and all these things, and when after all of that drama, hey, they're out as a vagrant in the street, you know, no full account of care, you know, for them. And this is what Babylon brings. This is what, you know, being a part of the land and the city of our enemy brings. And men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin, the Lord prepared such an one for the sword. Yeah. Because hey, we understand that Esau, Edom, this system is set totally against Jake. I might mention that we're not gonna find no rest. And yeah, and yeah, we being swallowed up by the enemy. You know? The scripture said that how they're gonna be the head and we're gonna be the tail. Yeah. Hold on. Isaiah 51 and 23. But I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee. That's after 22. 21, right? Therefore hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith the Lord power, and thy power that pleaded the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, because hey, soon all these curses gonna fall upon our enemies. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over, and thou hast laid thy body as the ground. So that is it, you know, we did in our best of our ability to serve under our enemies' empire system, and what? Nothing in return beside a big FU. And as the streets to them that went over. So hey, this is just happening for a time, but as the scriptures say, the plowman gonna overtake the reaper. You know, soon you all gonna be in a real tough case, and Jacob is gonna bear rule over you. You know, because the scriptures say what? Micah 4 and 10. Alright. Be in pain and labor to bring forth the daughter of Zion, like a woman in travail. But thou shalt go forth out of the city, and thou shalt dwell in the field. So he was driven out of Jerusalem, you know, and we fled into the interiors of Africa and whatnot, fleeing Roman persecution. And through the transatlantic slave trade, we end up in America, which, you know, fulfills this prophecy. So, and thou shalt go even to Babylon. There shalt thou be delivered Yea, the Lord shall redeem thee from the hand of thine enemies. Yeah, so wait, Babylon, J crying out, but the Lord said that the elect, most importantly, the elect crying out, right? So the scripture said that the Lord ain't gonna, um, you know, touching the wickedness, gonna leave them, they any longer. So the Lord is gonna turn it up on our enemies. Hopefully this lesson was edifying. All praises be to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. The Lord see elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Till the next, shalom.